Hey, Mech Warriors, welcome to Bad Ben's Battle Mechs. I'm Bad Ben. So, I just got finished watching the Adepticon live stream where they talked about not only Gothic, they talked about Gothic, but a lot of Battletech news. There is really a lot to unpack. I took down all the questions that had like conclusive answers. A lot of the questions they answered with like yeah, maybe that could be a possibility in the future sometime, and I just kind of ignored those because that's not really news. And just that, there's a whole long list of stuff that we got to get through, and I'm going to get through it as quickly but as informatively as I can. A lot of these things are really just written for me. So if you read these and you're like, what's it talk about? Just wait till I get to it. I'll try to explain. So we'll start with from the top and go to the bottom. There is no Kickstarter for Gothic. It won't be a Kickstarter. That's great news. I didn't want a Kickstarter. It will just drop on the shelves summer 2025. As for the plastic abominations, there will be no plastic abominations in the box, but a force pack will be released as long as the game doesn't bomb. Basically, they kind of said it like that. It's planned. They already have a 3D printed model. Randall was supposed to bring a 3D enlarged 3D model of Abomination, but he forgot it in his room or whatever. Anyways, so Gothic isn't going to be like a competing and continuing line. Probably they're just going to release the main box, some salvage boxes, and Abomination Force Pack. Maybe a little more if people want it, but it's not going to, be a continuing universe that they go into. Abominations will be getting their own set of rules. So we don't know what it is. But there will be new rules for abominations. They're not just, bio mechs or whatever that work the exact same way as mechs. That's nice. All Continuum games. So they've announced, there's a couple others that they've announced. Basically, the ones they've definitely announced is ray guns and rockets. That's kind of the classic sci-fi style one. And then one they just called Anime Tech. Yeah, and all of the Continuum games will be compatible, so you can play rockets and ray guns against the Abominations, or just put all of that into a regular game of BattleTech. It's all BattleTech, and it all works together, which is awesome. You don't want something that really doesn't fit together. That's kind of BattleTech's thing, though. Everything fits. And Abominations will also be getting classic style record sheets. Somebody had noticed that they had Battlefield support style cards, which is good, but they will also be getting classic style record sheets along with that. Battletech World War II is one of the things they're definitely looking at, as another Continuum product. I think that that's one that people will absolutely love. A lot of World War II nuts out there. And there will be a unique weapon variants for Gothic. They said they're going to be bringing a lot of late era weapons from BattleTech. I can't really remember what they said exactly. I shouldn't say that. All they said, there will be a few unique weapon variants for Gothic. So that's interesting, and they should probably all work within regular BattleTech because they said it would. Some abominations will be elementals. So they said there will be abominations of all different size, from elemental to assault, basic assault abomination or whatever. The mechs in the Gothic box are a little beefier, just to reflect the aesthetic. It's not a scale change, but they said to get a lot of the detail in there, and just to make it look cool as Gothic, they made the mechs just a little bit beefier, which is nice, but that they're totally still, compatible. Yeah, so they said Anime Tech. The way it's going to go is we have Gothic that's coming first. Ray guns and rockets will be second. Anime tech is third in line. After that, um, okay, yeah, and so that then they just start getting into all kinds of other BattleTech news, not really just focusing on Gothic. And there's some very interesting stuff here. This is what I'm really most interested. But so aces with classic rules. When they said when the what did they say in the summer at some con, Gen Con, when aces will be kind of released, it'll be that they hope that the classic rules, so that you can play aces with classic, will be at least in beta, and they'll be able to release that hopefully to us as a PDF. Okay. This one is actually this is big news. Because a lot of people have been waiting for this. I've seen so many people saying on the forums, like, "Hey, is a Commander's Edition for Alpha Strike actually available?" Like, it's the bookshelves have been empty, all stores. You can't find Alpha Strike Commander's Edition anywhere, but a reprint is coming within a month. And they said that um, a lot of the problems with of book reprints and the reason that the store shelves have been so bare, one is that they can't really keep everybody buys it immediately and they can't keep up with the product, but also that the Kickstarter did definitely get in the way of shipments of books getting out. um I don't even know what. Yeah, they just kind of mentioned this offhand. Akuma will be coming in the Kurita pack, so we're gonna get an Akuma, and it will be coming in the Kurita pack. Um, this is big news. So aerospace playtesting is underway. They were pretty definitive in saying they're currently playtesting different new rule sets for aerospace. Uh, Several different ideas have been pitched, and they've actually been playing it at Adepticon, and they're really excited. But this is so we're in the playtesting phase. No announcements of when new aerospace rules will be coming out. Um, yeah, but new aerospace rules is something I know a lot of people are excited for. It's something that really, really, really needs a redo because the old rules are clunky and cumbersome to say the least. Uh, Commemorative Edition 3025 sourcebook will contain new aerospace and new lambs. Um, that's that's pretty cool. New lambs specifically, and they said like, yeah, new lambs. Because a lot of, if you don't know what lambs are, land air mechs. So these are mechs that can transform from a mech to an airplane. Um, they were a thing in BattleTech. They are, I mean, technically they're still in BattleTech. I think you can find the record sheets uh, probably on Mega Mech. I'm not sure. But with a whole the whole unseen problem, basically they got sued and by Harmony Gold, and they said you're not allowed to use all of these different mechs, um, including lambs. And it was lambs were kind of dropped. Land air mechs were kind of dropped from BattleTech, and they said, we're just kind of gonna sweep this under the rug. We don't. They never really had plans on bringing lambs back, but lambs, they definitively said the commemorative edition 3025 sourcebook will contain new aerospace and new lambs. I hope I didn't mishear that. Yeah, okay, then they were talking about more continuum themes that they could be looking at. solar punk. I don't even know what solar punk and transhumanism possibly coming. I shouldn't have even written that down, really. That was just one of these, like, maybe we could do something like that kind of questions. You know what I mean? So that wasn't actually really anything definitive. Like, there's nothing coming. I shouldn't have written it down. Updated 3057 redo aerospace. Okay, this was another really speculative one, but I really just wanted to put it in. Randall says that he really wants capital scale ship minis, which would be so cool, right? Imagine having, like, you know, warships, a warship game in new aerospace rules. But also that new aerospace needs to come first. So this wasn't anything definitive and not really news, but that I'm excited because I would love to have capital scale ship minis, and that was something like we want to do it, but you know, MUL. Okay, this is actually big news. The master units list, MUL 2.0. They said within 2 months, hopefully. They said things are busy, it's getting back up. But the most important thing that they said about this is actually the interesting thing, is that classic record sheets will be included so that you can look up any unit um, and print out a classic record sheet for it. As of now, they only have the Alpha Strike cards that you can print out to PDF. But that would be amazing. That would be really, really amazing. Um, Especially if they had, like, the different art for the mechs on the record sheets. Anyways, this was actually pretty good news too. Um, Web store will be linked internationally. EU, UK, Australia stores coming. So, or I shouldn't say stores, warehouses. They want to link their web store so that when people in the EU shop for BattleTech items, it'll be coming from a warehouse in the EU, not from their warehouse in the United States, which has caused a lot of problems for a lot of people internationally, because basically means we can't order from the Catalyst Game Lab store. The shipping fees that they charge are absurd, like probably more than the product that you are buying kind of shipping fees. So that's been a real headache for a lot of international customers. But they did say that, uh, but also as a caveat, they've been talking about kind of hubs for the EU and UK and Australia since the Kickstarter, Mercenaries Kickstarter, started back in 2023. So, yeah. But they said with the new web store, because they did just launch a new web store. Yeah. Anyways, also they said Australia would be first, and EU, UK, they're in talks. So don't get your, don't get your hopes way up there about that, but it is definitely something they're looking into it. No major changes to Commander's Edition. A revised Commander's Edition coming within 2 years. The Alpha Strike Commander's Edition. I should have written Alpha Strike Commander's Edition. What were they talking about? Yeah, I guess that's it. That there is going to be a revised edition of the I can't talk. Revised print of Alpha Strike Commander's Edition coming within 2 years, but it's going to be no major changes. Okay, whatever. Den of Wolves half done. So that's that was another stupid thing I shouldn't have really included, because that was inconclusive. They're like, yeah, we're getting to it. Yeah, another thing, reprints. That I already actually mentioned this. The reprints for a lot of the books, like Commander's Edition, uh, were affected by the Kickstarter. Just wanted to write that down so I didn't forget it. This is the next thing is actually pretty interesting. They said that the lessons they've learned from the Battle Mech Manual, which I will agree is probably one of the best rule books that they have, will be going into Total Warfare revisions. I wrote that wrong. Of rule books, going uh, going into Total Warfare and revisions of other rule books. So they basically said that they're planning on new editions of probably Total Warfare, campaign operations, uh, interstellar those kind of extra rule books that are so clunky, cumbersome, and like you read, uh, oh, reference this page in this other book. Oh, and then reference this other page in this other book. And it can be really kind of a headache. And getting those books revised into something akin to the Battle Mech Manual would be awesome. That would be really, really, really awesome. They also mentioned they're not revising the rules. It's not like they're going to be doing tons of rule changes. It's about the layout of the books, and that's something they absolutely need to do. That's something they've needed to do for a long time. Okay, the next one is confusing. I wrote that just quickly because they talk fast and there's a lot of questions. So basically, the house pack, so Davian house force pack and the Kurita house force pack, there will be basically 2 force packs for each house. The first force pack will be featuring mechs from like 3025 up to Clan Invasion, whereas the second one will be covering mechs from, or did they say up to the Civil War? I don't really know. And then the second pack will be covering mechs from after that period until the present era. But I think we kind of already know that because we already have at least 2 uh, force packs for Davian already, right? Anyways, that was kind of weird news, not really all that important. Yeah, that was stupid. This is inconclusive. I mean, this is news. There's no info on a new RPG. They say they're bringing in people. So yeah, we're at the stage of we're bringing in people to kind of have a look at it. So a new RPG, it's gonna be a while. What's this next one? Merc's Force Manual about to go to print. Invading Clans Force Manual after that, and Commander Handbook still being worked on. So that's kind of self-explanatory. The Merc's Force Manual is about to go to print. After that, yeah, I already said it. I don't need to repeat it. More swag on the store soon. They mentioned that they'll be getting new T-shirts, dice, challenge coins, or all that jazz. They said there's already some up there, but they're definitely planning on getting more swag on the store. Battle Value 3.0. That's kind of interesting. Is being worked on, but isn't going to be a radical change. They talked about how battle value. So BV is battle value. It's the way you know value a mech. Each mech has their own battle value, and the way we've known. I mean, everybody knows that battle value. What we have now is battle value 2.0. It's not perfect. It's not bad, but as they said in the stream, BattleTech itself is one of the most complicated games to make a battle value for, and that's understandable. They've got so many different components, and components work different ways on different mechs and with other different. Anyways, so yes, 3.0 is planned, is being worked on, but isn't going to be radical. Big push in audiobooks soon. They said a whole bunch of audiobooks will be coming soon. That's cool to hear. They didn't really say anything about which audiobooks, but they said a lot of audiobooks will be dropping soon. More mechs with build options. So they were talking about the Atlas that's coming in the Gothic box. It has interchangeable heads, 5 different interchangeable heads, I think, for the different factions. And this is something they absolutely love the idea and are looking at. Their dream is a fully customizable Omni mech, right? Where you can have every pod and you can switch out each and every pod as you like for every game. That's the dream. That's not being worked on, but they definitely said more mechs with build options are being looked at for sure. Reprint of Campaign Operations soon, so that's just another hardcover book that should be coming, hitting stores, and we might be able to get it. You might be able to get it if you get to the store fast, because those will fly off the shelves. Campaign Operations is another one of those very beloved books. A lot of people are looking for it in hardcover. This was interesting. So in their anime tech box that they're planning, so after the Gothic is coming the Ray Guns and Rockets, which is kind of 1950s, and then the third box is anime tech and is going to be all clan mechs. And the image that we saw already was of a Mad Cat. So we're gonna get a bunch of anime clanners. That'll be fun. Ace's release. This is something everybody wants to know. But so Aces will release at Gen Con in the summer, but I imagine if you're not at Gen Con, you're probably not going to get yourself a copy of it, and will be released in the fall to stores. They said about October, which is still so far away. I can't believe, like, I was hoping Aces was going to come a lot sooner than that. I was hoping latest this summer. I'm really excited about Aces. I think a lot of people are really excited about Aces. Yeah. Last thing on this list, Wars of Reaving. Okay, this is actually pretty interesting. Wars of Reaving novels trilogy, they said, next year, as well as Wars of Reaving force packs that will include protomechs. So protomechs will be coming sometime next year. I don't know if they're going to have the Wars of Reaving force packs will also include some protomechs, or if there's going to be a standalone protomechs force pack. We don't know. But protomechs minis are coming, which is awesome. Protomechs are a lot of fun. If you don't know what a protomech is, it's like a mini mech. It's like smaller than a light mech. Bigger than an elemental, smaller than a light mech. They also work in squads of 2? I don't know. I don't know anything about protomechs. I should shut my mouth because I don't know anything about that. And that was everything interesting that they said at Adepticon, at least as far as I was concerned, and I was able to write down. So, that's all the news that I have for you. I'll leave you there. Hope you have a good one. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.